So welcome to the first video on the PGHO Overtime channel. We decided to make a tier list video instead of just doing a regular, good old fashioned power rankings list because there's probably gonna be about 4 different power rankings, all gonna look the exact same with blocks of text that everyone uses that no one cares about anyway. That you just check where your team is and then click off, like doesn't matter. So we just want to be a little bit different. Think this would be more entertaining for everyone if we have all the teams listed from 1 through 12, and then we're just gonna basically have a conversation about it and get a general consensus of what all 4 of us, all 4 of being me, myself, Mark, Syndicated, and MJO, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So we're just gonna get into it, starting with number 12, and we're gonna go all the way up to number 1. So take it. Whoever wants to start can just take it away.
Cool
Well,
boy.
let's have Sin start with this one.
Number 12. It's for me. It's got to be Dallas. The way I see their draft, it's going to be plagued by goalie issues mainly. Like their forwards and their defensemen aren't bad. They can take you some games, but if you don't have a solid goalie, you're going to be losing a lot of games. And I know that personally from the experience from Buffalo and Colorado of last season. You're most likely going to see Crossbow Joe in net. He wasn't bad for Colorado. He did win, I think, about 1 or 2 games in net, but it's not gonna cut it. And I think they're definitely going to be number 12.
Yeah, but in my opinion, we also got Philly. If you consider Dallas, they still have a few good players. It just depends on if they play or not.
True, true, but
Philly's roster
I
doesn't have anybody that good. Jetpack, I mean, unless you count Jetpack Fluff. Other than that, not really good. They lost. Yeah, I see them losing almost every game this season. I don't know. It's a tough one for me.
I'm gonna go with Philly as well. After looking at that roster, who's gonna show up after the first game?
Yeah.
I think 1 or 2 preseason games into the season, and all those good players from Philly are just gonna stop showing. So
Or they'll just go
Yeah.
somewhere else.
To just so that it's not 3 against 1 here, I feel like for Dallas, the main like point for putting them last is looking at their roster. Like, who do you put as a starting lineup? Because Angrenator is not going to be very active, so Cross was going to have to be in net, and then Coit never stays active after like 1 game ever, and same goes with Zatterby. So looking at the roster, like you got Eyesiders as line 1, but then who else do you even put?
But
Like
will
they
Eyesider
don't
even
have a
show up?
team that would actually like be competitive at all besides Eyesiders. There's no one else that's gonna show up for that team. That's gonna really like help them win games.
I don't know. I feel like Dallas will show up more than Philly would after the first game. These are definitely 2 bottom tier teams at the moment.
yeah, I think we're agreed on on 11 and 12. So
Yeah. So who do we should we put for now?
I say 12 is going to be Dallas. I say
Actually, I'll
11 is
go
going to
with
be Philly.
Dallas. Yeah, 12 with Dallas. Now
yeah,
that
12 Dallas,
yeah,
11 Philly.
yeah, but that can change very quick.
I mean, it's still early. Like
They're
we
pretty close.
stuff could change, but it's close.
We'll see. And I heard that that Philly is trying to trade Jetpack. So if they do that, then
Oh, that's it.
yeah,
They will,
Maybe
they will earn the 12th spot.
yep.
maybe some good things can come.
We'll
So
see.
they can't fight for first place, so they might as well fight for 12th. You know.
But truth.
All right, let's go on to number 10.
Sounds good.
We all in agreement with 12 and 11?
Yep. And if but at the end of this, if we want to just flip it around, if we think otherwise, we can always change it at the end.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I got Boston probably.
I also got Boston.
I'm just looking around. I was
I
debating between Boston and I just looked at the Oilers, but Oilers are probably a little higher. Why do you say Boston? Just so I know.
Uh, doesn't look like that good of a team. I don't think Toledo's going to stay that much. I think Washington's going to try to get him off of Boston's hands as soon as possible.
Oh, and
Other-
ACL, he rages a lot, so if they don't have a good couple of games, he's out.
Yeah, Zerological got banned last season, so
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
And other than that, there's not much star power
I
other than syndicated. But
I just feel like they're just they'll be active, but they're just a very average team. Like there's nobody that stands out to have any sort of star power on that team. Personally,
I think they'll
So,
win games though, just not
yeah, no,
a
they'll
playoff
definitely
contending
win
team.
a few games, but
definitely grab a game of the. Yeah, I think especially against that 12th and 11th place teams, I think they could grab a few wins. But other than that, it's going to be a tough.
for
Alright, I'm in
Boston,
agreement for putting 10
yeah,
as
it's going to
Boston.
be awesome. But for me, it's because they really don't have any clear-cut goalie from what I'm seeing. The only goalie I think I saw was in season 1 was Zero Logical for that team, but I don't know who their goalie's going to be.
very true.
That's
They
true.
could
That's
have-
true.
They're going to be active. I know that team from season 22 of PGHO when I did do it just to keep things going. This was pretty much almost an identical team to that. They are very active. I will give them that. It's just goalie's going to plague them if they don't fill that hole quick.
They make a couple trades, it could be definitely need a goalie, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
But other than that, they have the potential to move up, it looks like it. It's not Dallas.
Yeah,
True.
Yeah.
I'm ready to move to number 9.
Number 9.
Yes, sir.
I think Edmonton.
I am also in agreement for Edmonton personally.
I don't see. Actually, I don't see VA playing for them. Neuro didn't do so well last season offensively.
It's got to be Edmonton.
And Flash, he's not gonna show.
Yeah,
Trust me.
JJ's he's not actually dead, but my man's not.
Ghost
showing.
Recon.
Both of their goalies.
For this. Yeah.
I don't see neither of their goalies showing up. Gramey won underrated player of the year, so maybe we'll see something from him. But I don't know. It's a tough one. And I see a Lever also. I see a Lever going somewhere else after a few games in the season. So
The captainship will definitely show up almost every game. Everyone else,
100%. They just need
I don't know.
if they could get one of the goalies to play, then maybe I see them maybe making it to playoffs. But if not, then I don't know. I don't think they're gonna be very active after a few games.
Yeah, but very well though. If they do show up, they could be a very, very good team.
If the whole team shows up, I have them.
If
I
the team
have
shows
them.
up with V8 and net, you could have a starting lineup. You could throw insert in there. You could have the seller himself, Stu Noodle. You could throw Green in there. Lucky would probably start himself.
No, they definitely do have a solid roster, but it just depends on the activity if they're active or
Yeah,
not.
this is definitely activity. 9, 10, 11. 9 and 10 are activity.
Yeah.
All right, I'm in agreement to put Oilers up there.
I agree with that. They should be 9.
All right, number 8.
Detroit
I
probably.
was gonna go with Detroit. Yeah.
I gotta go with Detroit on this.
The only reason, in my opinion, Detroit is above Edmonton and Boston is because they're going to be active and they have a good goalie.
Yeah.
Hockey Lord is pretty good in that. And then they have musical turrets playing defense. I don't know. I see this.
And also,
Macros V3 souls. I don't know. I see this team making playoffs if they're active.
I feel like this team is almost a attempt to replicate the HHCO version of Arizona, and that team looked very poor on paper, but ended up playing absolutely phenomenally. I think they finished 4th that season in the standings. So
Yeah, finished 5th, I think.
with sports fan as the captain, so I just feel like
And this
chemistry is
roster
definitely
improved a
gonna be there
little.
for most of the team.
This roster improved a little
Yeah,
from that Arizona squad.
big addition like musical turrets, and that's a big addition for them because he can be an absolutely locked down defender for them.
100%.
I don't know. My two, just looking at the roster really quick, my two kind of next two picks for 8 and 7 were between Red Wings and the Canucks.
I think 8 and 7 is between those two.
Because it's the activity level. There's some players on here that are yeet gods, and if they don't
The
like it,
thing,
they're just not
the
going to
thing
play.
with the thing with Vancouver is they actually do have a pretty good roster.
They
Aside
have
from
the
the,
players, but will they play?
I don't know if Sudoku played recently. He used to be good. And then they got God Magic. They got Senko and that Kamado. I don't know if he's going to be active. They have a good squad. It all depends on activity. So I still think Detroit 8, Vancouver 7.
Yeah, my only reason for putting Vancouver over Detroit is because for the strict example that they have about 6 guys that will be active or should be active at least, and teams have proved you don't need more than 6 really good players to be a decent team in this league. Between because all the
As
captain should
long as one
also
of them is a goalie.
if Got Magic she should show because he just got unbanned. Senko should show and be their goalie, and Akko should also be
Axel
showing
will
up. So
show.
like if they have those 6, I would pick those 6 players to fill in for an entire game over Detroit's maybe 10 players of activity they're gonna have.
I'm in agreement with that. At least I had enough intellectual idea here to pick both of those teams. But I can see Detroit being 8 and then connect 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, let's go on to 6.
But these are two definitely playoff, possibility teams if they get there.
Vancouver can
I
definitely
think
jump off. It just depends on who shows up for them and just
Yeah, who
how well
actually
they can
willingly
play.
wants to play.
Yeah.
7 through 10 is going to be a mix for those last 2 playoff spots, in my opinion.
Yeah, it all very much depends on how these teams approach their unique situations that they're put in. If they can, conquer that situation before the other teams, and they can start getting on a roll and racking up the wins, they can definitely make a playoff push.
I
Yep.
think my next
So-
team would be the Devils.
For me, I got to go with Washington.
That was going to be my second team. It was
I
going
got
to
the
be
Devils.
it was going to be those flip flop things again, like I just said.
Yeah,
I got the Devils in this one.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I
I
was
think-
thinking Washington. I would personally.
The reason I got Devils because they don't really have a great goalie. Washington has Nick Oriogang who can either play very well or have an off day. But I don't know that New Jersey lineup isn't as strong as Washington's in my opinion.
And like New Jersey's my team, so I'm not really knocking them too much, but I like the roster. It's just
It also
I don't-
depends if Grab and T-Hawk show up.
yeah, will they play?
Yeah,
Then I don't know.
where Grab has left the Discord entirely, I do not have many hopes for him showing up. But
On it stands as paper right now, if they all showed up, yeah. I think I would still put him at 6 though, and Capitals 5.
And Grab dropped down to a second round pick this season. So
I just think that Washington should be 6 because they're really with their draft they're really banking on the later half of the picks, like beyond round 5, because they got Zesty, Limited U Hacks, Nova, Alcione.
Will they show though?
yeah, that's the
Concurred.
thing. I don't think those guys are gonna show up.
No,
Yeah,
Which I don't think
but
either, but
also past two seasons, Vegas basically lived off Pixel, Leaves, Rixo, Este, and then Deepolit also, and Simon, plus Nick and Net. It's basically the same. It's basically the same team they have for the past 2 seasons, and both times they had a pretty good squad.
True.
with New Jersey though, I think they're really underrated in terms of how their roster is. Obviously, Ely being in that is going to be interesting since he hasn't been in that for a while. But I have them above Washington just because of their leadership group of Ploy and Ely. Viper is a bit newer to that, but when I played with them back in season 18 of HECL, their leadership really showed throughout the lineup. So that's why I have them above Washington.
I'm looking at the Washington's roster right now, and they just signed Banks. That's a big signing for them because that gives them.
And I think this season he's
going
gonna
to
be active.
Backup goalie now, of a decent, mediocre, like middle tiered goalie as a backup from Banks because he's gonna be rusty. He didn't even play last year, but
That's true.
if Nick's having a bad day, maybe when it's like 1-0, 2-0, if he tells when he can tell he's having a bad day, he wants to get out immediately. So where Banks wants to play this year and show up, he was normally a very active player. So if Washington, because right now my reasoning for putting Washington at sixth would be their goalkeeping. Because personally, I've played with Nick before and he's not very consistent. He's either extremely phenomenal or he'll go through like a span of an entire week of playing absolutely awful. But if they
I don't
do
know.
have their backup goalie now, I feel like that gives them a huge depth boost to just sub them out if they're having a bad day.
I don't know. I think Washington could be a sleeper team this season. We'll
Both of
see.
these
We'll
teams
see.
can be sleepers.
They could be
But-
100%. But the thing between the two is for Washington, those main guys are gonna show up 100%. With Detroit, I don't know.
New Jersey.
New Jersey, I don't know 100% if T Hawk and Grab are gonna show up, and they're two. Without T Hawk and Grab, this is maybe a playoff team.
Very true.
Washington, in my opinion, has more potential for the
Exactly.
activity purposes.
Way more.
But
Those
even
main-
on paper, the roster I'm looking at, they are better than New Jersey.
So I think we got New Jersey 6, Washington 5.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
sure.
But that's like a very close thing here. All right, now this
We've
is
had a
where
lot
it
of tight
gets.
groupings between 11, 12, 9, 10, 7, 8, and 5
No,
and 6.
this
It's been very-
season looks competitive if the players play.
Very much
If the
does.
players are active, that's the thing. Those bottom teams, I don't know if they will be active. So
Mm-hmm.
unless traded, then maybe. All right, 1 through 4 is gonna be a little tough. I think it could be interchangeable between all four spots. So
I think I would throw the 4th spot. Oh boy,
I
I'd
would give
personally
it to LA.
LA.
I think I would give it to Kings. Yeah,
yeah, I go with the Kings also.
but they're a powerhouse. But it's like the beginning of the powerhouse teams.
Right.
It's just
Those players are going to show up.
If the players show up and there's no problems between any of the players, I think this team could be good. They got a goalie. They got the goalie of the year, and they got Packer, who's
It's an extremely good defenseman. Yeah.
Very good. It's going to be hard to score in them. It all depends on if offense shows up and scores.
very true. That's my reasoning for wanting to put them fourth is defensively they should be very much sound with the best goalie in the league in my opinion and one of the top elite defenders in the entire league. And
They traded up for that pick to get Musbato too. So I'm kind of surprised with the roster they have, considering how they traded up and gave away a third rounder.
This team is like a half remake of St. Louis from last year, and
With more firepower on
with
offense.
more firepower.
Yeah.
But last season,
Way more.
their main forwards are looking to be between Ryan, Aura, and Zermach. If Aura and Zermach cannot maintain their activity like they had spells last year, it'll be very tough for this team to score goals without them, in my opinion.
If
Toxic
Zermatt
also,
decides
Toxic
to,
also pretty good.
if Zermatt decides to take another break, that would be very devastating to the team.
It would hurt them, their chances, and they're probably going to fall.
Would they
bottom if
drop
that
down
happens.
lower? No, but I would still keep them at
But
4.
not much.
Yeah.
So who do we got next up?
All right, let's throw them at 4. I'm in agreement.
I agree.
Agreed.
I probably got Ottawa at 3.
I also have Ottawa at 3.
The team has the same defender and goalie as the team that won the cup, but instead of Adam and Top Shelf up top and Code, now they got Gonzo, they got Mark, and they got Snowy, but I don't know, Adam and Top Shelf and Code went off last season, so
Yeah, I feel like they just don't have the firepower that they had last year.
and plus they don't have that they don't have the same bench they had last season. Also, they had Jetpack coming off the bench, Ito, so.
No, they don't have that team chemistry anymore. It's
But
still there, but it's not.
V1 and Noel is also going to be hard to score on, so I think this team could also be pretty good.
All right.
Definitely. 1 through 4, in my opinion, are all cup contenders.
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%.
You just got to have a good day.
All right, number 3, I agree with you guys, Ottawa. But number 2,
I got Anaheim.
I got
I would-
Anaheim.
Yeah, I gotta go Anaheim.
Chicago's a no-brainer for number one, in my opinion.
Yeah, Chicago has to be number one, but Anaheim, I think, has a pretty good chance to be number one. Though they're a bunch of friends, and that's the best chemistry team I see on this team. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
but
just
the only thing is with Chicago is they have probably the top three offensemen in the league with Flash, Adam, and Cole, and then they have the only thing is they don't have like a certain defender. Chad's probably gonna play defense, and if Paul shows up, then I don't know, it's gonna be a tough one. But they're gonna be scoring a lot of goals.
Yeah, no, Anaheim is definitely not one, but you can't beat the Blackhawks in this situation.
Yeah.
That is just another powerful team
But-
like every other year.
A little comment about Anaheim is honestly, was anyone else surprised that they picked Arctic round 1? I was just
Not
very
because-
shocked that they
Yeah.
would take him.
They
I mean, I was shocked. I thought they were gonna go with Fosmanix, but it was a little
no,
bit.
it was a mutual agreement. I heard.
All right.
And then
That
they
was-
got
that was 100%.
Ark and Ricky have a lot of chemistry, so that's a good the first 2 round pickups. And then they got Lord Miles in that, so this is gonna be a tough team.
I'm also surprised that they also picked up Pand in the 6th round.
And from what Mick said, he's gonna be completely active. So that's if anything, that's 100% skill
Which
That's
is a really,
arguably
really
a steal of the
good for
draft
them.
if he's active, but
if he's active.
it's a huge
I thought after like the 3rd round, I thought that's it. He's just not active. That's why no one's picking him up. And then Mick said he's gonna be active. I don't know if that's a lie or not, but if he is, then that's gonna be a crazy steal.
I definitely would like to see Chicago versus Anaheim, and during the regular season, see how that plays out.
I agree. I feel like
It's gonna be a good
it'll be
one.
very.
But in my opinion, both Ottawa and Los Angeles, the thing is they're gonna be hard teams to score on. So and then Chicago and Anaheim just got a crazy good offense. So this is gonna be that 1 through 4 just depends on who's gonna score more goals, and then LAK and Ottawa's who can if they could just score more than Moose concede. So it's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough season.
Yeah. The only comments I've heard that have been knocking Chicago throughout the entirety of the draft so far is that they don't have a goalie. But I mean, with Paul and Ninja,
Do they really need one?
Like,
Yeah.
I feel like Paul is a good enough starting goalie with their team that like they've proven they don't need a great goalie to win the cup. They don't need it. They're ice players.
And I see them trading for a goalie. I see them trading for a goalie soon, if anything.
Exactly. See, I wouldn't be surprised if they picked up a Senko-esque goalie, where it's someone where they're friendly with, but also knows that they're a good goalie.
They
Yeah.
definitely have the resources to pull it off.
They definitely do. They definitely are going to be down to give some of those players away. I mean, you got V8 on Edmonton, who's going to want to leave. Probably he probably already wants to leave, and I see Chicago trying to go for him.
Yeah. See, but like, who would they give up though? Because the board
They have
goes
a lot.
in the end. The captains have to accept the trade, but the board is the ones who decide if it goes through or not. So
They have a lot. They have a lot.
Chicago willing to give up to end up getting V8?
I mean, I see them giving up Pure Chills, Ghost Glitch, all of those guys. In my opinion, the Flash, Cold, Adam, Top Shelf, and Chad is all they really are keeping. Everybody else, I think, for them, they'll be down to give up for V8. Because if they get V8, I see them winning cup.
Yeah,
With a little challenge.
if they get V8, it will take a lot of big movements between players and teams to create a team strong enough to actually contend with them, which we have.
I mean,
not
you got
seen.
the best offense in the league by a mile in Chicago. If Chad can hold it down, which he can, I played with him a few times. He's pretty good defensively, so this should be interesting.
The only thing stopping this team is if they for some reason decide they need to exploit, and by them I mean Chad. So that's the only this is the only way I see anything happening to this team, with how the league is set up at this current moment.
Here, but this looks pretty good now.
I agree with this list 100%.
So we've
Yeah, I
got
like it.
from
There's a few teams that are interchangeable,
I mean,
but
A lot of
In my opinion, one through four is set in stone.
Yeah, my prayers go out to Dallas.
Yep.
I'm sorry for putting them down to 12, but they
May-
can. They have the
may-
ability to move. All these teams can move. It's
all these
just
teams. It all depends on how active they are and which goalie is able to use these new goalie animations to their advantage.
I'd use this as motivation. If you're anywhere, 7 or below, you can definitely shoot up. You just gotta make sure you pull the right strings.
or just show up. That's half of the battle.
Yeah, that's too.
And the show for the team you got drafted, so it's not that hard.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like that this list it could very much change as this regular season ends on. This is just based off of what we've seen from the teams on paper. We have not seen, except for a couple of these teams that are remakes of past teams, we've not seen what these teams are capable of doing yet, as there hasn't been a single game played yet, besides the few scrimmages people got after draft night. So, but it's this is the final list. We okay with this? With Dallas at the bottom,
Yeah.
Philly at 11,
Yeah.
Boston 10,
Still is.
Edmonton 9, Detroit 8, Vancouver 7, New Jersey 6, Washington 5, LA 4th, Ottawa 3rd, Anaheim 2nd, and Chicago at the top.
Correct.
Yep.
All right, and I think we're good. So, thank you guys for watching our first video. We're gonna try and do something different here at the PGHO overtime channel here. This has never been done before, so we're just trying it out, see if you guys like it or not. So, just actually let us know in general or something if you actually like this, or if you'd rather have us just type out actual tier list ourselves.
And power rankings, we won't be doing that often. And let us know if the video was too long or too short. And also let us know if you guys want us to do anything, literally anything. So thanks guys for watching.